First free field training patrons only live stream, and I thought it only fitting, since you guys support the channel and the stuff that I do, that you get a first look at what's going on in my personal life. So I was thinking about making this a regular YouTube video. I don't know if I'm just going to post this eventually or make a separate one about the car, but my car, the big blue Ford 500 with the tints, with like epic amounts of cargo space in the back that was full of my stuff with the blanket on the back, it went to the big wrecking yard in the sky very recently. So I went to a bunch of local dealers and I told them what my budget was, and some of them laughed at me, but the Advantage Toyota dealer, River Oaks Toyota, they sat there for 7 hours working out a way that I could afford to buy a new car. So what I ended up with was the largest car with the most cargo space that I could fit the whole family and the dog and our stuff for a weekend in, or all the kids' school books in to take them back and forth to school if I really had to, and that I could afford. So this is it. I bought a Toyota Corolla IM. It is not fast. It handles pretty well, but it's not fast. And it is a manual transmission. So this caused a couple of problems for me. Sorry about the hand. This caused a couple of problems for me. One is that I drove it, and the only thing I really didn't like about the car, because it's got plenty of space in the back, we're going to look at that in a second, but it's a manual, and although I'm used to driving a manual, I can drive a manual, I'm a little out of practice, and this one is a 6-speed manual, for reasons that I don't really understand, probably fuel economy, but 6 speeds I don't really like. It's a lot of extra work, and I'm very used to 1, 2, 3, 4, overdrive, over here for reverse, and even though this has a locking ring to keep you from just throwing it in reverse accidentally, I still occasionally do it. Luckily, it comes with a backup camera standard and also a bunch of other standard safety features. Toyota puts their safety features on everything, even the base model manual, little tiny Corolla IM hatchback things. So that's actually kind of nice. And one day I'll be able to pass the car on to my kids. It's not fast. I mentioned it's not fast. It's not fast. But it is fun to drive. It handles pretty well because it's got an independent rear suspension and pretty stiff springs on it and, you know, decent wheels and stuff. But if I wanted a car and I wanted to be able to fit the whole family in it, and I didn't want a car that was like so base model that it had hubcaps, this was going to be it. And it has dual zone climate control, which will shut the wife and kids up a little bit because I won't be freezing them out all the time. They can turn up the heat on their side and I can have the air conditioning on my side. So it's a 4-door. It's a little bigger than, like, the smaller version of this is the Yaris. And it's got a pretty big seats in the back, especially since, I mean, as you all know, I'm pretty short. So with me and the seat where I sit, there's plenty of extra space in here. So I got the kids in here and they're kicking the seat, they can't even reach it. And then if I don't have the family in here, and this is what I'm probably gonna do most of the time, I can fold the seats down and it's got like 50 square feet of cargo space, which is kind of nice. It's a hatch. You can see I've got all this stuff. We're doing the video with Rhino Response at the grammar school with the Stat Medical public access bleed control kit. I got all my camera stuff in my gym bag and all of this in here, and our extra tourniquet trainers and stuff. And I still got lots of space. And then if I fold the seats down and I take this little cargo lip thing down, I've got like small van type of capacity in here. So that's nice. I had my kid's birthday party the other day. I was able to take this out, all of this out, fold the seats down, and we just shoved everything in here like it was a van. And luckily it's short. It's a pretty short car. You can see it overhangs less off the rear wheels than a standard sedan, but still has more cargo space. Like, this is the same trunk space as my Ford 500 does. So if you've ever seen like the inside of the trunk on one of the new Tauruses or 500s, they're cavernous inside, and this is actually a little bit larger. You fold the seats down, it's 4 times as much space. It's nice. But it doesn't overhang as much because it's a hatch. So even if I put heavy stuff back here, it doesn't like sit on the ground, which is nice. It's still a pain to drive around because there's not a lot of power. It's only like 138 horsepower. It's a 1.8 liter inline 4, no turbo or anything on it. I don't need a turbo. I'm too old to drive around fast. Plus, I drive around fast for a living, so what fun is that to me? But I grab my bag from work that I normally have to drive back and forth. I can fit that in there without having to take the little cargo cover off. It'll just shove right in there so I can transport it back and forth to work. And, you know, it's long enough front and back. If I have to go to the range, I can put the steel targets in there. I can even put my Mosin Nagant will fit from the back seat to the back hatch, no problem. So hopefully it works out for me. And it was super cheap. And that's the name of my game. So I brought it out here to the cemetery. This place is kind of dead. Figured I wouldn't bother anybody out here doing a video like I normally do, doing videos in the park. Somebody's there with their kids all getting bothered. But here, I could even cover up the license plate. Nobody's going to call the cops on me. Also, I think everybody here knows me. Yeah, it's nearby. So, just a real quick live stream, show you guys what's going on. This is what I'm going to be cruising around in. If you see me hanging out, give me a wave. I'll be the one killing it at lights and, you know, burning out my clutch trying to relearn how to heel toe. See you guys later.